Hello and welcome. Flare cable now available on 1.8 meter headphone version, including. Hello. No promo at the beginning. People hate that. Beer girl from Germany, presumably drawn in Japan. This mousepad, which you might remember from a long time ago, very German colors, and that, which I cannot hear myself speaking because of this is here. And put those down. And again, no self-promotion at the beginning. People hate it. Let's talk about things. This is the RME ADI-2 Pro SE. I know, flows. And yes, I am wearing exactly what you think I'm wearing. I got it on Woot. It was so cheap. I've had this for over a year, and I bought it forever ago from RME because I was taking too long to make this review. And I wasn't trying to be a prick about it. I love the guys at RME. They're always cool in Germany when you see them. And fucking their hardware, bro. Yeah, I painted this red. So I was being too slow and like, look, you either got to pass on this used unit or buy it. And I was like, buy it. I got a used price on it. It was selling for $2,500 new when I originally got it. It's now $2,000. So this has lost $500 in value. And I got it for a little less than that. So I thought it was a good deal. And the reason it's red is for two reasons. Number one, it was beat. Like, I actually bought an abused unit. I felt bad for it, and I would give it a good home. And so I'm like, all right, I'll take the cover off, and I'll really make it mine. I haven't painted something since the HG600s. So that should give you a clue, a big, raging clue of where this sits in the hierarchy of gear in Z Reviews, considering I've painted a total of, it's been more than two. I think it's just been two. Just fucking two. But I needed a paint job, and I wasn't going to paint it black on black, which is what it normally is. So Zeos, why would you buy this? Why wouldn't you just like send it back or get the review done? Because I needed it. It hasn't been like I borrowed. I've been longing. I was yearning. The word is yearning for this unit for about, let's see, if I've had it for a year, put about 2.5 years before this moment. Not because, let me show you why. Excuse me, beer girl. Because of that. Because if you ever go to the New York show, which I haven't been to, I'm probably going this year, that is the Rupert Neve Fidelis, not the baby one, the fuck you big one. And that is $5,000, and it has like a piece of wood on top of it. And I would, if I had to quit all of this, I would just sell a fuckload of stuff and just have that piece of art with the best knob you've ever fucking felt on my desk. But the problem was, when I heard that beautiful thing at New York, and I had my own IMs and my own headphones to check, and I was like, oh my God, does it get any better? And then I listened to this, which was just sitting on like a thing, like nonchalantly with no wood or anything. And I plugged my same headphones into it. I thought they sounded exactly the same. Granted, $2,500 German, $5,000 Rupert Neve, probably German, American. Who? I don't know. I'm sorry. I actually forgot his name. I just remembered Fidelis. Who's the guy that made the Fidelis? Point is, I saw this as, because I've already done, if you don't know, way long time ago on this channel, I did an original RME ADI-2. That was a loaner from somebody. I ended up buying an RME ADI-2. Hi. But not what you think. The one I have is actually an analog to digital converter, which sounds silly. Who would want to do that? Oh, wait, this actually can also do that and digital to... All right. I'm giving you all this like exciting backstory, but you need to understand why we're here. I'm Z Reviews. Hello. You want to support the channel, Patreon and Subscribestar. Do keep me in business. And when I need to throw some $1,500 fuck you money at a company because they're just rushing me, you guys are the ones that allow me to do that. Look happier, beer girl. We're about to get fucking toasty. This unit is probably one of the most capable machines in the audio industry. Full stop. Industry, including the pro section, not just like home audiophiles. Small little secret. I think the audiophile hobby is kind of a joke. Not that I'm not laughing at anyone in particular, but if you're not part of the laughing with the joke, then you're the one I'm laughing at. All right? It's like, cable risers, $35,000 tone arms. But then you get to this like level, which is pretty, I think I've found the level where it's not absurd. Like $300 R2R decks is fucking amazing. Not to suck my own Valencia home, but for a made in America thing, people are complaining like, oh, it doesn't have any components in it. Yeah, but go build something that has that few components in America and see if you can make it sound as good. You bitches. It's so good. Anyway, this fits in to every niche of the audio listening game. And it started for me with the headphone out. We're going to get to the other shit this will do. And trust me, this is going to be a terrible... If you are a professional audio editor, mixer, and you need to know the full capabilities of this unit, I am not the fucking man to tell you, and the curse words and anime titties should have all sorted you out already by now. I bought this because I'm a user. All right? I'm the lowest... I was content being the lowest of the low form of audiophile, where I just listen to music and try to enjoy it. Could you imagine the filth? No. I have been elevated through my own actions to reviewer, and therefore I must tell you about the great and terrible things of this world. This unit is German. At $2,500, it's a steal. At $2,000, it's still a steal. It's very simple looking. It's not simple. It's fucking complicated. And anything you need to do can probably get done via this. The only thing this can't do is literally add a tube sound to something. But you want to CROSSFEED? One of the best CROSSFEEDs I've ever heard, including the Zal HM1. Like, it's just 5 notches, and they're digital, and you just do it, and like, I could live with 3 forever. This sounds amazing. Do you need to push fiber optic, or you need to push fiber optic in and then out, but also do a bunch of shit to the EQ between the in and the out? Well, we could do that. How about analog inputs and outputs? We could modify the signal path on those as well. Oh, cool. One of the reasons I didn't want to rush the review, and one of the reasons I didn't do this review for the last year, A, it's been in use, and I'm just like, I'll get to it. B, is when I was in Munich, I was scared to death, because I talked to the guys, like, yeah, I was anyone. They had one of these hooked up, and I thought they had it hooked up to, I thought a monitor plugged into it, because it was this huge fucking like 32-inch 4K display, and they had the apps running. I do not have the apps. I didn't bring an extra laptop. Go watch my review of the K19, or the JDS Labs Element 4. An app externally, an RME app for a professional audio person can hook up to this and the USB to your computer, and the displays, it was like the Starship fucking Enterprise. There was so much you could do, because when we go to the screen, which, by the way, you're just going to skip like the entire section of the explaining. There's, when you unfold a booklet, and it shows you like, and if you see this screen, you do this. And sometimes it's up to like 8 different screens. Like if you hit this button, you're in this screen. You hit this button, you're in that screen. Some of the new topping, I just did the DX5. That is so many menus and so many options. That is garbage child's play compared to this. They could give you a wall poster size piece of paper, and it wouldn't probably fit every fucking screen and option that you have, because every single input and every single output has multiple levels, and it's like, So today's the day. I decided it's the day. I'm going to sit down with this. I was looking for something on my shelf that I knew intimately enough to do a review. That's a big part of Z reviews, is when I'm like, I can't just go like, all right, time to do this now, and I grab it and sit down and do it. Except for some IAMs. I just need to get that done. But like the Ori 3s, they're there. I've used them, but I haven't really engaged with them like physically for like 3 straight days where I'm like, I know these headphones and I can make a review. Use this for over a year. You know what? Fucking unit tour. We'll shut you off for a second. I'm going to unplug that, and this. And you know what? We'll even power it down. and to take out the power plug, because German and Pro gear, it doesn't just pull out. You don't just pull out. You have to twist to unlock it and then pull it out. That's how you know you're in a different class of gear, people. When the shit is locked in, because if someone asshole pulls a thing and it unplugs your thing while a live mix is going out to fucking Billy Joel, then you're in trouble. So locking power plugs is it's the bung on the bottom of the wine glass. Everyone's like, if it has a deep bung, it means it's good. That isn't always the case. But if it has a locking power plug or some way to, the old one had a latch that it actually hooked around, probably because it's designed for pro applications, and unplugging it wouldn't just be inconvenient. You get fucking fired. So it is a small unit, real small. It's short and stout, and it's got some weight, but it's not like a machine. It's got weight because the case is steel, and because it's loaded to the absolute brim with componentry. In fact, I think I have a tab open. Hold on. I was looking up the Fidelis, and I was looking for pictures of the RME hooked up to screens like they had in Munich to show you the madness. Just to show you. I didn't want to engage in it. I just wanted to show you. And you know what? It doesn't exist. Assuming this is the right one. Yep, Pro 4's 2. It's lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Kind of looks like the inside of an Atari or something. Nothing that you would recognize and be like, oh, that's a toroidal transformer. Or this is some big audio component. You don't recognize anything on there. Because this isn't like anything that you're going to pull apart and see. There's not going to be a tube amp. There's not going to be fancy. It is purely German engineering, and it could have. This thing, you could hand this to someone who's outside of the audio community and tell them it's nearly anything. Oh, this is the reprogram the satellite imagery on the space station, and they go, yeah, okay, I believe you. So, like we looked at the back, you get your Kensington lock in case you need to lock it up at I guess if you were to buy this and take it to college, you'd want to use the Kensington lock. Your locking apparently works from 9 to 15 volts DC and consumes 15 watts. You get a 12-volt trigger out, which is popular amongst the kids these days, USB 2.0, a digital I/O, which is a plug that I assume is the AES-3, AES is a big XLR and they couldn't fit it one, so they have this, and you have to plug in an extractor block. I don't know. I'm terrified. Don't look it up. You get your in fiber optic and a different color out fiber optic, and you can do anything you can do. You can just loop it through and just have it so that if I'm plugging in my one output, just loops through to another one and nothing happens to it. Or we're going to get into the menu and just going to be like, what do you want to fuck with in this little line between here and here? What do you want to change? How do you want to change it? We could do it all. You get your outputs, which are gold coated, and you get your 1/4 inch, which are also balanced. These are main outs 1 and 2. Then you get 3 and 4. Then you get these analog inputs, which you can adapt with, I believe, because they have that, you can do TRS to TS adapters and put RCAs in here. Haven't tried it. Please look it up. Find a review that's better than mine. The bottom has feet, which I fucked up with. Was this blue tack? There was something I put here, because these are actually foam-filled feet. Made in Germany. These are actually foam-filled, and I stuck it down so it wouldn't slide, and I think it started peeling off the foam with it, so that's my bad. The front is surprisingly simple looking. Like, it doesn't even feel intimidating. You're like, I'm an adult. I can handle this. I've used a modern car or an ATM machine. Well, we've got a power button here, which is flush with a ring LED around it. You'll see that when I turn it back on. You get 2 1/4 inch jacks, which you can plug a normal 1/4 inch headphone into that, or an adapter for a 3.5, and it just needs one side. Or you could split it up to both. Or you could have 2 headphones, and it's headphone, phone 1, 2, channel 3, 4. Or you use the 4.4 balance in the middle. That was what was lacking on the original RME that I reviewed years and years and years ago, is it only had a 1/4 inch jack. And I'm like, oh, it sounded so fucking good. But it was only a 1/4 inch jack, and it wasn't balanced, and it needed a little more power. And so fast forward however many years from that to when I first met this guy, I was into her. Okay, so you got your nice digital volume knob. It goes clicky clicky. It is a push button. You get 4 buttons in a stack here. Volume, I/O, EQ, and setup. Seems pretty cool so far. And you get 2 more knobs on the right-hand side that are labeled 1 and 2 with a press, but they're also labeled B and T. And so they push in and both rotate. Are you starting to see that we have 3 knobs, all with push things and all rotating, plus 4 external buttons and then ignoring power. So you've basically got 7 buttons here and 3 knobs and 1 screen. And so I'm going to plug this back in. And before we go into the madness, I really want to talk about sound quality, because I feel like the reason I own it and the reason you might buy it isn't going to be the absolute absurdities and things it can fucking manufacture in the sound stream from A to B. It's going to be, why did you buy this, Zeos? Does it sound good? I should probably plug it in. And remember, we got to put it in a certain way and then twist it. There we go. Now we get the red standby. That's another reason I wanted to buy it. Turns to white. Screen says RME. I don't know if I have an update on this. I should check. I'm on version 36. So, very simple setup currently. Power, signal, output to Valencia. So let's say that we're here and we want to listen to music. Let's say Symphony Number 2 in D major, OP36, ADI, whatever. It's going to sound like this. You know the kind of music. All right. Current setup, it will auto-detect. It's automatically output into that, but if I plug into the front, it will auto-detect and switch. So that should no longer be playing sound unless there's an option I didn't change. Give me a second to blow up my headphones. No, I'm blowing up my headphones. Okay, so it is outputting from the front and the back at the same time. We can fix that. We can fix almost anything. We're not getting to that yet. Sound quality. All right? The meat and potatoes of this fucking 45-minute to an hour-long review. Now, serene bias aside, I do really think it cares about the amplifiers you're plugging it into. And I've obviously been using this for a year, so don't be like, Zeus, you only tested it with Serene. Bitch, I've been trying this for a year. I know what it sounds like on most of my headphones. That's not true. I'd say 80% of these never leave the wall. If you could tell me which 20% do, you win a cookie. So, now, using it as a preamp for Valencia is part of the reason why I knew I was going to end up buying it. Because I knew the goody-goody that comes out the front can be the goody-goody that comes out the back. And I could use it in a nice volume for that. But, on its own, stand alone, sitting here on high gain, because there are 3 gain levels, and they're individual for the balanced versus the headphone 1/4 inch. I have it on high gain for the balanced, and I have it on IM gain for the other one, so I could use it for that. But listening, just listening, there's a precision to the warmness of this amplifier. Get ready for some bullshit, bro, because that's the only thing I can throw at you is bullshit. Because every time I do any review about sound, I'm always like, well, how do I describe this and make it not scientifically accurate, but emotionally correct? There's a difference between telling me something about the specs of something and exuding to how hard it's fucking your mom right now with quality. There's a balance. I try to go somewhere in the middle. Sometimes I lean more towards the mom fucking. Sometimes I lean more towards the numbers. This, being German, I should probably lean towards the numbers, but I won't. Every time I truly take it out to listen to it, not like randomly plug a thing. And like if I'm listening to you today, I can't tell what it is. I know these headphones. I know those headphones. I know any of those, not the Oris yet. I'm going to get to the Oris. Don't worry, we're getting to the Oris. But I know the headphones I plugged into this, and I know what they sound like on every fucking thing else on the earth. And I know what a headphone sounds like when you usually plug it into like a warm Class A, or a wonky tube, or a very sterile and clean, like old school fucking topping or something. It all sort of like you get these like impressions of like that kind of sounds like that and that kind of stuff. I don't know what this sounds like. Because it ain't just, oh, it's warm Class A. It's a class that sounds like Zio says Class A. No, because it's too fucking detailed for that. And then there's like this soundstage and width that's like, well, that doesn't seem fair. This is what the Fidelis did. Anyone who'd ever heard the big Rupert Fidelis, you should have been enamored by the way it added this richness to the sound. Blah, 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 blah. All audio nonsense. But this does it too. This is loaded, teeming with audio nonsense. And that's not even from a science perspective. That's just from a man who listens to headphones a fucking lot on a lot of things perspective. Right? That's on my business card. What is my job? I listen to a lot of shit on a lot of other shit. So I have a reference. That's it. This is Westworld, which we all know only had one season, right? It's a shame when they canceled Westworld after the first season. And it's also a shame we can't fucking stream it. But there's like very small, minute, little, tiny, delicate sounds that are happening in these hard-to-drive fucking headphones, which on high gain, I still have 15 decibels of headroom. It won't run tungsten. For those of you wondering if it will run tungsten, it will not run tungsten. That is what that is for. You go, and you're done. It's real close to the level of goodness that I would point. I don't know, where's Japan? Probably down. Where's Masuda-san? Where are you? I could see him smiling away in his workshop, although it's probably really late or early. I don't know what time it is. Echo, what time is it in Japan? I love when that one just answers me. I think that one's broken. She literally doesn't fucking respond anymore. You're stupid and I hate you. Anyway. Into the levels of kind of like, oh shit, Mascobo sounds better than it should. Does something I would never technically review with like a Mascobo 465, because when you plug it in, it'd be like if I reviewed everything plugged into only this fucking, again, German, tube amp. That tube amp sounds so fucking weird and tubey, and it's like every time I reviewed a headphone, you would go home, plug it into your dongle DAC, and be like, this doesn't sound anything like Zio's described. It's a problem. It sounds so weird and envelops so much weirdness into the end result sound that if I were to review on said thing, it would skew the reviews. It's like if you reviewed every car with, multi-$1,000 drag strip fucking perfect radials, and when they buy it at the shop, they're, it's all seasons. I don't know, some like 7 out of 10 all seasons. You'd die immediately because you'd think the car was so powerful. So it's right at the edge of that. I still can assess with this, but it's close to sounding better than it should. Like I'm picking out things in music that I'm pretty sure most of the headphones I plug into it normally, under normal conditions, would not be able to give this information to you. It just has some sort of fucking wild layering and separation of instruments and all those buzzwords you hear in actual reviews. And again, if you're here to understand about the functions and physics of this, we're going to get to that, or at least I'm going to hint at them. But for just a pure digital in, make DAC thing happen, oh, by the way, amp, poop it out, fuck. Worth the money just for that. That's how I knew I could do this review. Even if I know nothing, even if I don't know what any of the knobs do, the fact that when I plug a digital source into this, or I guess past an analog source, and I haven't really played too much with the analog input, but the internal abilities of this thing's DAC, digital preamp, because that's, again, what we're dealing with here is returning a knob, and a digital thing is changing, not an analog thing, and then still have it come out of an analog amp sounding like this does. I think it was worth the $2,500 price point where it was a year ago, and it's certainly worth the $500 less now, and I paid $1,500 for it, so I got a fucking steal, although I had to paint it. And I baked this paint in my oven, like I actually went the extra mile, and it's still kind of messed up and scuffed. I was really hoping it would, like, I might sand it and give it another coat. Point is, like, what sounds but what I love the R2R fucking FIO K13. I love it. It's $320. It sounds insane. It's warm. It's wide. It's junk compared to this. And I don't mean that in a bad. Please, for the love of God, don't take that out of context. This can do more, and obviously it's fucking, well, now it's $1,700 more, $1,680 more. But a lot of that is going to be the feature set. So price point to price point, if you yanked out all the guts of this and made it just what this can do, this thing would probably be like $1,000, $800. It's all the other shit we're going to talk about. That's where the money is. If you're just buying this for the headphone out, I will endorse it. All right. I'll be that asshole. But if you want to sleep better at night, you're going to have to do something for me. We're going to have to, I'm going to put the fucking headphones back on, and I'm going to do this rant while listening to, the Arcane soundtrack, season 2, at least season 2. In fact, we'll unplug this, plug you there. That has more power, by the way. It adds a balls amount of power. Timestamp. The mother fucking menu. And this is the perfect music. This is the perfect music for the menu of the RME. This is a bigger foe from Arcane Season 2, and it is fucking blasting in my ears right now. We're going to drop it down a few dB. All right. Let's just pick it up and bullshit for a little bit. I'll try to keep the reflections from the big light down. In fact, get a little sexier in here. So, what do you want to do first? You want to turn a knob or press a button? It's like a game show. Volume 1/2 down to infinity. It goes to 93.8, 87.8. It big jumps at the bottom, and then it gets more granular as we get like 66, 65, 64. And there were half decibel increments up and up and up. And so 1 and 2 are the XLRs. And I don't have them outputting full voltage either. That's a limiter I can set in the menu so that I can't blow anything up in Valencia, which is nice. So that's what the volume knob is currently doing. If I were to unplug this from here, you can see that little white box is about to move over and cover the 13.5 as it detects that. And now that's playing, and it doesn't just play. It detects it, and it ramps up the volume. That's some S-Class Mercedes level shit. I think the Germans know what they're doing. That feels nice. Plugging in your headphone and having it not going... going, oh, the headphone is plugged in. Let me enable the amplifier and turn that up for you, sir. Is this good? So you have time to react. Godly. I don't know if it works the opposite, like if these will ramp up too. And I don't think I can switch the plugs fast enough to detect that. So let's just make the assumption that it doesn't, just for the sake of it. We've touched one knob. Let's push the knob. You see what changed? You see what changed? Now we're picking between the two. Phones out or line out. So now we're adjusting that. And we push this in again. And now we're adjusting what would be plugged into the front, which, well, fuck, let's just do our Aris. There you go. Perfect. So now I could run those. And I could press that button, and I could adjust my volume there, and everything's working great. Look how nice. Isn't that a convenient feature? Great. We are one knob twist and one press. Bitch, we got so much to go. Okay. I think that's all we're going to get out of the main volume knob while we're in this screen. And we're also going to unplug Aris because I don't want the cable dragging along here. But, so what happens if we do this? Or that. Uh-oh. Oh my God. Oh my science. What the fuck? Okay. So these switch through the screens you can choose on the home screen for the home screen. This is just state overview of the whole unit. You could see that I don't have AES working or USB, and the source clock is off, and the clock source is SPDIF, and loopback is active, and then it's 24-bit, and the state is cons, and I don't know. So now phone's out. If I hit up, it's the same as when you press this, line out, phone's out. Only now we're picking it here. And if we turn, wait. Oh, good. Turning it doesn't do anything. Whew. Okay. So here's our analog input, which you couldn't get through with that. And we could now see if we had an analog input, we could look at the meter doing its thing, currently at 100 dB down. This, which shows you analog input, AES input, SPDIF input, 1.2 output, and 3.4 output. So the outputs of the headphones and back, and where we are in decibels compared to the input, including the SPDIF pass-through out, which is currently not active, I guess. I thought that would be showing if I had it plugged in. So that's a thing. Now you get your line out and phones out big volume indicators. So in case you need to see it, I'm also on the wrong one. So there you go. You can see that says high power, and you can see that says plus 7 dBu. That's the voltage output of the back. It can go up to 24, plus 7, 20, plus 24, which makes Valencia full power. We don't want Valencia at full power. So yeah, we've got this, and now it still don't work here. At some point, we're going to get it so where these two dings control the volume, and it's so cool. They're also bass and treble. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay, so slate, phones out, line out. Okay, analog. All right, I think we've now covered everything you could do from the main menu before going into the other menus. God help us all. All right. I might speed run this a little bit. I don't want this to be a 2-hour video that nobody watches. All right. I know you guys are pretty much done already. But volume. Okay. I like to do a loop first. See how many choices we got. Volume once. We now have volume indicated and balance indicated. And then it says 1 and 2 with circles. And this is knob 1 and this is knob 2. So we could adjust the balance here. And the volume here or here, could do either one. It just gives you the option. And then we press 1. Now line out 1 is muted. And we press that and nothing happens. Whew. Volume again. Now we have linked volume, which will do front and back for somebody to do a headphone and a subwoofer. If you're two people doing it, I don't know. But now we have line out volume here. And phones out volume here. So now we are technically controlling with these two knobs this volume and this volume. So you can just stay on this screen. That's the thing also. You don't have to leave. That's your screen now. Boom, you're here. You constantly get these displays which show full digital peak to 0 and then your set 1.1 and 2 and 3 and 4 volumes. So if you were to change them individually, you see that goes up. That's this, which currently has nothing plugged into it. And this is the one that will kill me if I go too loud. What am I listening to? The Planet ES OST, which is an anime that I fucking love and recommend. So, hit volume again. We're out. I think that's it for volume. Oh my God, we're nearly done. All right, we'll be fine. What could I/O have to offer? It's just one screen. Great. Except when you hit it and it says 1 there, and then rotating this now changes. All right, I'm gonna literally die. Little Witch Academia is trying to kill me. So now we hit I/O, and now this knob, as you rotate it, switches from analog input to line output, the phone's output 1, 2, the phone's output 3, 4, the analog input, the line output, phone's out. And you kind of like get lost, and here's all the options. And guess what? You know how we go to those? So let's go to analog input, which we're not using currently. And we've got a reference level, and it says 2. And if we rotate this, that's our reference level. Then we hit press to go down. Auto reference level, trim gain left, trim gain right, phase invert, MS proc, AD filter, dual EQ, AD conversion, DC filter, RME, or none. RIAA mode, in case you're plugging a fucking turntable into this. Do you want the RIAA mode at plus 14, plus 20, or plus 38? How about mono bass, on or off? Which, okay, so now that was just the analog input and the settings of the analog input. Do you see why I'm getting a little bit like I need a fucking beer? Okay, so let's rotate that. Line outputs. These are also in the back. These are what I'm using to run Valencia. It's 1 and 2. The source can be changed. We currently have it on SPDIF because that's what I'm using. We could set it to analog, so the input's looping back through the analog. We could set it on AES. We can set it on auto. I'm leaving it on SPDIF because I like to tell things what to do. Now, reference level, this goes anywhere from +1 up to +24. That is literally how much voltage or volume you want to push out to your external thing. For Valencia, for this headphone and not tungsten, +7 is plenty. We get to within 10 dB of the max, and I'm happy. Auto reference level, which it'll sort of figure out on its own. You could force mono, on, or to left. So it'll just make everything you're listening to mono, or make everything you listen to mono, and only in your left channel. Now, that is not an audiophile thing. That is a person who is doing a mix thing on a stage thing, where they just need to hear Phil Collins and the guitarist together and only in their left ear so they can keep having a fucking argument with their girlfriend in their right ear. That's a thing this can do. Width literally goes from 1 to 0 to -1. So it's not even like a crossfeed. It literally will take your stereo image and it just start summing them together until you're at 0, which is mono. And then you can keep going to -1, which then just reverses a channel. So you can reverse the channels 23%. Even I don't know when you'd use that in the pro audio field. I have no fucking idea. By the way, what does MS proc mean? Don't know. Just has on or off. Okay. Phase inversion. This would have saved my ass with the Empyrean 2. Because the phase inversion is just on and off. It's off, both, left, or right. So if you wire a headphone wrong, and you're like, something sounds weird, plug it into this, phase normal, invert both phase, invert just the left phase, invert just the right phase. Oh, there it is. Now it sounds normal. I fucked up the right side. I would never remember to go in here and do that, but it could. So CROSSFEED, now this, I cannot tell you. And by the way, the CROSSFEED does work through the output. So if I put something else on, I hate when it starts with like 5 seconds of quiet. But yeah. And by the way, the volume control never stops being the volume control. Because you're a professional and you're in these menus all the time and you need to be able to lower and raise your fucking volume without backing out of menus. So this is always your volume control, which is lovely. So let's put back on How to Train Your Dragon is currently playing in my headphones. It's fantastic. And I'm cross-feeding them through these. Which cross-feed, if you don't know what that means, headphones tend to only have 2 sides, and they tend to not, unless you're really good at listening, you probably can't hear what's happening in the left side in the right side, or what's happening in the right side in the left side. I haven't had to explain crossfeed in a hot minute. But crossfeed in this instance is taking, just like we were talking about before, we were blending the left and right, but that was sort of to make it mono. Imagine if you only took parts of the track, certain frequencies, certain inversions, certain like things it detects, and you make those bleed into the other side. Instead of being a set of headphones that feels closed, where if you get a recording of someone just screaming in the left channel, in real life here, or in a speaker setup, if someone was screaming in the left channel, it would come out of the left speaker, but your fucking right ear would hear it, wouldn't it? Because it's not like you can't hear anything past the line. Like you'd hear that. I'd hear that speaker in my left ear. I'd hear someone behind me in both ears. CROSSFEED simply feeds certain algorithmically figured out shit from one side of this headphone to the other in a way to make it feel more natural. And I don't usually like CROSSFEED. But I like it in this. And it's like 2. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think, wait, this is off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it goes to 5. 5 sounds a little bit far away. It's like I put it to speakers and I've walked like 45 feet back from the speakers. So it's like a lot middle and not very much left and right. And off is literally just left and right. And so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is way too far. But 1 or 2, I could absolutely, if you purchase this thing for a headphone amp, this sort of thing is still not a thing you can do. I mean, you can get plugins for FooBar. You can get the Zal HM1, which is like $8,000, and that has the CROSSFEED thing. The only other thing I would say that even the Black Ice doesn't technically count as a CROSSFEED. CROSSFEED are very hard to do well. I know. I played with that shit for like years back before I even became a YouTuber. And this is one of the best ones I've ever heard. And the fact that I could push that CROSSFEED out to an external amplifier through the outputs, not just here, because I'm only fucking with the CROSSFEED on line output. We haven't even gotten to the setting on the front. It's going to have another one. It's going to have multiple. And I'm going to be able to do all that shit. I just wanted to suck the CROSSFEED's dick a little bit because I don't think enough people understand why it exists and how they can use it. Because it doesn't make your headphones sound more like headphones. It's trying to take that aspect away. That closed tightness is supposed to like relieve it and give you a little more like, oh, this feels more like I'm in real life, maybe with speakers. Not a speaker emulator, so to speak, but just we're not designed as humans are supposed to be living in the woods, still eating berries. We all fucked up. We made wheels and fire, and now we've got AIs about to take over planets. We a whole fucking thing. But there'll be no more entry-level jobs. We know that. But we're still not designed physically to understand what happens when a sound happens only in one ear. Our brains are like, what the fuck? That isn't a thing. You should hear out of both ears. And that's what CROSSFEED does. Am I done with that? Great. DA filter. NOS, brick wall, SD, LD, slow, sharp, SD, slow. You know what these are. I'm leaving on a non-oversampled. Maybe I'll put it on SD sharp. Oh, so de-emphasis. See how it has auto on and off? I almost threw this unit out the fucking window. God bless Golden Sound, despite his lack. I love that man. I do. I want to squeeze him sometimes. But he was like, do you have de-emphasis on? Because I had bought this unit, and I was fucking around with all these millions of settings, and I don't remember where the hell I went. It's like following a map in Phantasy Star that you're writing down on graph paper. And like, where did I make it left? What was in this chest? The front headphone out sounded way better than the line outputs. And I don't know why. I was like, why does this sound like shit? Turns out, in this exact setting, in fact, this exact setting, de-emphasis was on. And I don't know who thought, because this is specifically for a SPDIF. If you take it off of SPDIF and change this to something else as the input, it won't be de-emphasis. But de-emphasis on basically just crops all the highs out of your fucking audio channel, because that's where the noisy stuff might be. So you want to de-emphasize that by making it sound flat and dull. And I'm like, never, ever do I want that. I remember there being a de-emphasis on another piece of equipment where I turned it on, I couldn't hear a difference. It was like de-emphasizing the roughness of a digital signal, whatever the excuse was. Point is, if you get one of these and it sounds like ass one day, make sure your kid didn't put the fucking de-emphasis on, then tell him never to turn it on. So off, please off. Dual EQ. This is fun. I did research actually for this one because I'm like, what does that mean? You can have an EQ on an input that's separate from the EQ on your output, and you can run dual EQ. You can stack EQs. If you don't have this on, it'll only do the EQ, I think, for the output. But if you run it on, that means you could EQ it flat from an input source because something's wonky over there, and then you could do your magic to it and output it. We haven't even gotten to the fucking lady. She's just standing there holding those beers. That's why she's sad. Give me one. Give me one now. Volume, which again, we could just, here's the volume again in case you need the volume again. Just in case you need the volume again, here's the volume again. Lock volume you could turn on, which is nice. That means you can't touch the volume, which for something like this at a show, I probably wouldn't lock the volume. But I could think of several reasons why I'd want to say, like, yeah, I know it, this is this, and fuck you, leave me alone. Again, your balance, which I don't know if I'd mentioned this, starts at C, goes to 1, and then goes all the way not to 99, but to a fucking 100. So it has a full 100 steps of resolution right bias, or back to C, and 100 steps of resolution to the left. Are you starting to get why the price point is so high? And how German this is? And then down here, in the most convenient spot, is mute, obviously. 15 settings down in the menu, in the other menu. I need to mute this. Go to someone's house who has these, go to I/O, go to their output settings for something, and go all the way down to mute and turn it on and leave. They'll lose their mind. It's it, you've broken them. There's also dim, which is a thing for pro gear. Dim is basically like if you're talking to someone wearing headphones, they don't want to mute the music and like be stopped. Dim just sort of like dims the music, like from 50 decibels to 20. And again, I don't know why this is buried in the fucking menu and permanently turn onable. And you can mute and dim. Okay. And then loop back, which you can, here's the fun part. So now loop back. So this is outputting. We got our signal coming in. That's out. But we could loop it back through the pre-FX, so before any EQ, to 1 and 2. Or after the EQ to 1 and 2. Or before the EQ, so still getting the signal in, but before the EQ to 1 and 2 with a negative 6 dB. Or pre-FX to 3.4, or post to 3.4, or post to 3.4 minus 6, or pre-FX to 5 and 6, which isn't even an output on this unit. I think that's if you plugged in like an external thing, because what the fuck is 5 and 6? And then post-FX, and then post-FX, that off. Remember when I said the chart with all the screens? Couldn't do it. All right, digital DC protection. I know DC offset bad, so I just leave DC protection on. You could have it set to filter, on or off. I know people will probably say, oh, DC offset. If you don't need the DC protection filter, you should leave it off because it's going to get in the way. Fuck you, it's protection, all the protection. German girls, all the protection. Although they'll just bring you more beer. There it was. That was just line output. Do you want to do phone output 1 and 2? This one specifically? Because I could change the source. So this one could have just the analog inputs be output for this one. And then if we scroll over again, and 3.4, now 3.4, which is this one, or the balance, can be for SPDIF. And okay. I'm not going to go through all these. I physically can't. So analog, and then reference level is IM, low power or high power. So this one could specifically be low power. And I'm going to set it to SPDIF. And then mono is off, and width is 0, and phase, and invert, and crossfeed, and ST sharp, and de-emphasis is off, and dual EQ, and lock volume and balance. Remember I said these were all going to be there. Another one over. So it starts us back at the bottom because we went over to phones 3.4. So that's the one I actually use. And even though it's not labeled phones 3.4, that's phones 3.4. Rear TRS line, source line, DC protection on, post effects, loop back. We're just going to just disable loop back. Dim, mute is on for some reason. Is mute on? Oh. Line outputs 1 and 2. Wait a second. Main outputs 1 and 2. Okay. Did I just? Oh fuck! Did I make it so that sound doesn't? No, sound's in place. I have had no less than 3 15-minute long, oh fuck, I changed something and then I forgot about it a week ago and now I got to figure out how to put it back because sound's not coming out. I've had those. I've had them. They're buried. It's buried. And I'm sure if you use this thing nonstop, you'll figure it out. But it's like, I don't want to learn that much. So yeah, you get your line out output. All right, we good? Can we fucking stop being on? Let me see what the setting is for the power levels. So phones 3.4, phones 1.2 IEM, and that is a negative set is a 7.1. You could hear it clicking literal relays internally when you change this shit. Okay. I'm just going to hit volume until we get out. We're back to home. We take a break. I need to listen to some music. I need to just chill. I need to go back. I need to go back. Just anywhere, please. Uh-oh. High power mode active. Reduce volume to make sure your headphones can handle high power mode. Press encoder 1 to continue. It was in mute mode, and then it unmuted when I immediately touched it. Who doesn't have Evangelion? That's not depressing or weird at all. Anyway, okay. We've now touched... We'll get the remote. We'll get to the fucking remote. You know what? We're taking a break. We're going to the remote. We're getting to the remote now. Put the light back on for a second. I'm terrified of this remote. I know what most of them do, but I'm afraid if I hit this button that says dark, what does that do? Will it blow it up? Will it turn into a vampire? Select, don't know what that does. Oh, God. Nothing seems to be changing. And we are blinking. So power, we know what that does. BT is not Bluetooth. It's bass and treble. BT out, 3 and 4 on, BT out. So I put it on. And then this now adjusts bass and treble boost, which are literally, there's volume, and then there's a volume button, which lets you pick which volume, and then you have the volume. And then there's bass and treble plus and minus, and then there's L and R, so that you can actually, I'm assuming if you're using this in a speaker setup, which I would love to go to a fucking Axpona or a Capital Audio Fest and have like Leo's amps monoblocked on the floor, just an RME sitting in the fucking top, and then just whatever speakers, Mons. Just that's it. It's done. You could literally start biasing center if you're like, you sit down and like there's something's off. The room is weird. Oh, it won't room correct. That's another thing that isn't that. This doesn't have like room correction software. If you're looking for something like that, you're looking for mini DSPs, you're looking for software-based things. You're looking for that Baram, the Arc Studio, which does the analog ins and out, which I could technically recommend. You can come out of this and go into the Arc Studio and then out to your monitors, which are them in room corrected, and you could still be doing fuckery with this and that. But I feel like that would do a disservice because you want the analog outputs of this not interfered with. In fact, I would almost say you're better off using the DAC, fiber optic in, fiber optic out, get another good DAC, then use this to do your out. Oh, there's so many fucking options. Oh my God, my brain hurts. Next, EQ. Are we done with the fucking remote? All this shit, laser discs, EQs, Bluetooth. Okay? I don't know, LD does. Loudness. The fuck? I didn't even see that in... All right, hold on. I actually am terrified of this remote. So if it breaks and I can't get it to play music for the rest of this review, this is why I didn't... I don't get anxiety. This is like having a 10 out of 10 girlfriend. She's so hot, you know she could do better. And you're afraid of fucking up even in the slightest because she might figure out that she could do better. So you're just like, I'm just not going to touch any buttons or say anything about that dog. If it's cute, what if she doesn't think it's cute? Just keep going with it. Don't fuck this up. Don't hit the remote. All right, I'm hitting loudness on not that track. I guess this works. Apothecary Diaries. Either is there a setting? Because I can't, if there's a loudness, and what loudness technically is on like a surround sound receiver is when you have to play something very quietly, you put on loudness and it'll boost certain frequencies. A little bit of the top gets sparklier, a little bit of the bass gets lifted up so that at a quiet volume, it has a loudness mode so it sounds louder. It's usually crap. I actually cannot tell if it's doing any. It's going green. It must be real gentle. It is German for loudness mode. It's very gentle. Okay, we're done with the remote now. Now we're done with the remote. Coaxial, optical, USB, obvious. Then you have analog, AES, dark. Dark doesn't seem to do shit. Dim. Oh, wait a second. So wait, how do you get to that? Like, how do I shift? Select dim? Wait, select dim? Because I'm imagining if you dim it, if it lowers the volume a little bit, dark will make it even lower, but still not mute. That's my theory. That's my running theory on dark. Okay. Back to sexy mode. Sexy. Oh, I'm making it brighter. No. Sexy mode enable. Thank you. Let's hit the EQ button, because to quote that movie with that one guy that says it, it's about to go down. Okay. A lot of the reason people buy this unit is not for the amazing analog output stages that just, and the DAC that adds this like creamy richness to it, like this really high-end quality. And it's not even for all the options and settings in the I/O. It's just for fucking EQ corrections of things. And this was the first to do it, because the RME I reviewed fucking 8-9 years ago did it. And that was before JDS Labs or FIO even had fucking sperm existed to make their new shit. They've been doing it forever. They've been day one on this. And as I press EQ, first it's asking me, use this knob. Where do you want it? Do you want it on the phones out, 3-4, which is what I was listening to here? Or do I want it phones out wait, I'm sorry. It's phones out left, or phones out right, or analog input. Don't want to mess with the EQ on the input. Or line output 1 and 2, which yeah, this is 1 and 2. Even though it says main outputs, they should have called it line output, because then it would make sense. But now it's these. But then if I keep turning the magic knob, now it's phones out 3-4L again. Well, where do I want to get the fucking these? I want to do these. So there's my EQ settings, or selections, I should say. Now, let's do something I'm not actually fucking. Oh no! Oh Jesus! It's already. Okay. Phones out, left and right, analog input. I'm not touching the analog input. If I fuck with it, I'm gonna forget, and then one day I'm gonna use the analog input, and I'm gonna be like, why does this sound like some asshole took an EQ and it's going to be my fault, so we could laugh in the future. So analog input, we're going to click it. B1G0F100Q1. The smallest little fucking indicator there as I turn to have, do you want to have a peak? Do you want to have a shelf? Do you want to have a high pass or a low pass? We get to pick that. And then it's like, all right, so we're going to do a low pass or a high pass. Now, press select manual, select temp, manual, EQ free, all these. How many presets? 20. Clear, please select rumble. Okay. This is painful for people to watch. Let's raise the Q value, and then we'll go in, and then we're going to go over. And, now it's got the colors. So now we select temp. Okay. There we go. Now how do we get over from that? There's 22. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm bringing it over. I'm fine-tuning my Q values. Hold on. Oh, it's a pretty rainbow. Now we've got the 5 of them. Actually, 5 is actually a pretty low number for the number of things you could do. Keeping in mind, I'm doing this manually, and it changes the color to show you the section you're going to be in. So here we're in the red section. Let's go to not yellow, or green. Let's go to the teal section there. Yeah. And then we're gonna click over it. We're gonna go. Oh, we gotta move. No, hold on. I think we gotta do that. And then there. We could change where the frequency is. Oh no! Don't get out of it. For the love of fucking God, don't get out of it. How do I bring it down? Is it the main? It's the. I wasn't including the main knob. Oh, there. It's so much easier. Perfect. Wait. Perfect. Zeos has designed his next headphone. It's mid-focused with a treble and bass boost. It's a W. Every input and technically every output, because you could do the double EQs. You could do this shit. Now, all right. So there's me crafting an EQ, and I could craft it for stop. I could craft it for all of my things, but right now it's just analog input. Now we press EQ again. Now we've got the options. So enable EQ, I'm going to say no. Just, that's easy. I fixed it. If I say yes, so it'll give me more options. Press select. Temporary, manual, free, or whatever it is. So temporary, name it, push to save 1 second. I don't want to do that. I don't want to save it in any of these slots. My EQ is bad. That was a bad EQ. Don't do that. But I could save it by holding. Do you understand how tweaky fucking you can get with it? Just on the controls itself. You could push in specific numbers and change the everything you want for any source with multiple fucking things. I need to get out of this. Help me. Enable EQ is on again. No. Off. Okay. There you go. All right. We're good. EQ. Okay. We're done. Except for the setup button. You see, bass and treble are not enabled here. I don't know why bass and treble are not enabled, but maybe we'll find out in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we hit setup. First knob, options or setups. That's it. Nice. It's 2. We're actually going to do setups first, because guess what? You can, if you have multiple users of one of these, if you're working at a studio, and Steve shows up, and Steve is like, I like my shit fucked. I go in there, I store my setup of all my shit all fucked up, and it's good. But then Bill's a hard ass. Bill comes in, and he's like, nope, I like my shit perfect. And you get to load, factory reset, up to 9 stored things, or load 9 stored things, and then down, load, oh, wait, no, I don't want to leave it on that. In case it just factory resets it. Load volume it's set up, disabled. So again, you could load your volumes or you use a certain headphone. You can have it load that for you. You could name the setup. I gotta know, how hard is it? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's got so many letters and they're capital and small, and I could put Z setup. It's, wow. It's been the hottest of minutes. Hold on. Z, lowercase e, obviously. Where's the O? Where's HML, O? Come on. We're wasting people's fucking time. Ugh. Z-O setup. Nice. Start, press down for 1 sec. I'm not doing it. I don't want any of this. I want none of that. I want none of it. Again, it's not a $2,500 unit. It's audibly a $1,200 to $1,500 unit. There's $1,000 and whatever the fuck's happening in this menu, maybe more. Nope, get out of that one. We need to go out of setups and into the actual options. So this is it. This is the final run, I think. Options. Scrolling down. Mode, basic mode, auto, analog to digital, digital analog conversion, USB. Preamp, which is what I would use for Valencia only. Digital through, which is when you want to fuck with all those EQs through the digital output. And then DAC, which makes it just a DAC. Now, I've left it on auto because I want to use it for multiple things. Preamp mode is currently activated. CC mode. I don't know what the CC stands for. Computer control, maybe? Because, again, I don't have this hooked up to the computer. You have a choice of stereo or multi-channel. So I don't know, like, how multi-channel, if like the software would have to interact with this, and I don't know. I literally don't know. I'm terrified to find out. But I'm assuming if you're editing like surround sound shit, you'd need to have that in multi-channel. Digital outsource, default or main out? Leaving on default. Don't know. Good. Auto standby. I didn't have this on. I'm setting it to 2 hours. The reason is this little fucker gets hot. I think it might be one of the reasons why the paint is so fucked up. It's because even though I baked this in my oven, it's a little baby oven of its own. It's got good venting on the sides, if you haven't seen the venting on the sides, but nothing on the bottom or top, so the top does tend to get hot. If I had it on during IM reviews and I put the box on there, that box was hot. You could warm up a sandwich on it. Right now, it's not too bad. I'm moving it around and breathing on it, but it is a hot box. It is not a cool, calm... Actually, these are pretty warm, too. You're cold. For an R2R, you're pretty cold. And Valencia feels like it's dead inside, which is what it is. It is perfectly dead inside. It sounds fucking amazing. Don't forget to check my Patreon. Subscribe star. DSD detection. This will detect DSD. I don't know how that will help you, but you can do it. I'll leave it on. MIDI control, on or off. I'm not using a MIDI. I think... Have we done it? Have we been through all the settings? Oh God, I think we have. Dual and linked volume balance. Okay. I'm kind of nauseous. That actually wasn't as bad as I thought. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. If you never touch them, the problem was always with this unit is getting it set up and working the first time and then completely ignoring everything else. Which, another thing is, I changed the color scheme on this. What's playing? Do you want to guess nothing is fucking playing? Somehow Zeos broke it. Hold on. All right, hold on. Line outputs 1 and 2. No, we got a analog. No, phones. Yeah. I broke it. Legitimately, it's like it's not showing me. Okay. IO. Phones out, which is not what we're on. We are on that out, and the source is SPDIF. That's phones out, SPDIF. But we don't want that. We want the line output where the source is locked. Why is the source locked? Oh, Jesus. What did I do to lock the source? Because I need line outputs 1 and 2 to have a different source. It did it. It did the thing. You're watching it do the thing. The thing that I just said, oh, thank God it didn't do this thing. What is auto on that? I could change the phones out to 3.4. And the phones out is on high power. But if I try to go to analog to line output, and I know this is the right one because it's a plus 7 dBu, I can't change the... oh, God. Anyway. Smash the volume button a bunch of times and it gets you back pretty much home. The problem is that nothing is... The fiber optic fallout. It's playing Ennio Morricone. Nothing's happening. I've killed it. I'm going to try shutting it off and turning it back on again. That shouldn't fix it. This is a user error. And luckily for us, I've got a 1 hour long video I can just watch and see at what point I fucked up. Preamp mode active. Balance phones mode active. It never used to say that. So now it says that. And nothing's coming out. IO. Source SPDIF. Yes. Setup. Basic mode, maybe? Go to DAC. Okay, hold on. Nope. Oh, all right. Well, this is actually a perfect way to end this review. Because it's... when it's working, it is a fucking beautiful sounding unit on its own, as a DAC, as a preamp, as a headphone amp. It is stellar. It is worth its price in that alone, and you get to say you have a German thing, and it comes with a remote control, and it's great. Maybe loudness did it. Loudness on, loudness off. I don't know. What was a spit-if button? Hold on. Optical. Optical, go. All the other fucking nonsense that I just scrolled through, you can deal with a lot easier when you get hooked up to the apps and external things with USB. And it's like, I'm sure that makes it a whole lot simpler and a whole lot more dynamic. And one of the reasons that this was an upgrade over the original was because of those external things. And again, I could apologize all day and night for not like bringing it out and showing you, but I literally can't bring it out and show you. Also, I remember the color being different on the display. It wasn't just red. And I thought I set it to red. Yeah, here's a picture of it with blue. But I can't find the setting in there to set it to blue. And I didn't hook up an external app. So where'd that come from? Just, you know what? Just, it's, yeah. I set the red because I wanted the red to match the case. But you could set it to like any infinite amount of colors. I couldn't even find the fucking colored thing. See here. Here's where it belongs. You see where that is? You see where this thing lives? It lives in a rack, but like a real rack from real devices for someone who's listening with someone singing and there's microphones and you're doing a part of your... This is a professional piece of audio equipment. It just so fucking happens that they were smart enough to go to hi-fi shows and let real people listen to it and see its capabilities. And you know what? Because here's the thing. In the world of, pro audio gear, a $2,500 box is not nothing. And it's not nothing in the audiophile world, except there are so many people there who will hear it and go, yes, I would like this German thing to make my headphones sound like it does. They haven't made one yet with a full balanced 4-pin, and I hope they don't. This is enough. I do think I've improved the color schematic of it. I think it stands out a little more of that. Do I recommend one? Well, I bought it. I got a good discount, but now that discount's only $500 and it was used. If you can get one of these used for $1,500, fucking jump on that. Even if it's get rid of all your other sources and just live with this. And then if you need to, could you fathom hooking up studio monitors to this? And then you have all those EQ options to change around and fuck with. And you could put it in that volume mode that lets you do 2 different volume controls simultaneously. And they're so fast. And it's just leave it in that mode. I've been smitten with this thing enough to paint it. Enough to whip out my, and I haven't made it official yet, but I guess I could do that now. My low-res audio stickers are reserved for the finest pieces of equipment. That one's actually not stuck there either. But I'm going to take this one off. Actually, it's a little beat up. A little beat up's good for this old girl. Let's actually peel this sticker off. And I printed these myself, so don't ask where I got them. Let's apply it properly where it belongs. With love. Calling something low-res audio when it's like a $2,500 amazing piece of German gear is it's a compliment. That's why they're there. Because of course it's fucking high-res audio. All those little stickers are stupid. Usually they're on, if you're putting on something really cheap, it's like, hey, we're trying to show off that we're good. But if I'm buying a $1,000 topping DAC amp combo, I'm assuming it can handle CD quality or a little better. So I want to see that low-res audio sticker. I want people look and go, oh, this is for mid-fi shit? Yeah, that's what it is. Definitely. Don't watch this review about it, by the way, because it's nothing like that. I need to make this work again now. I can't believe it actually did the thing. It did the thing that I said it's going to do the thing. And I don't know, did I mute something here? Because there's another thing that happens. What else is working? Are you going to blow up? Nope, that still works. So my source is still outputting. I did something. I touched it. Zeos fucking touched it, and now Zeos is going to spend another 15 minutes, not on camera, fixing it. If you like these sort of rants, please think about supporting the channel. Patreon and Subscribe Star keep me going. And you can get some benefits like seeing reviews early, participating in yard sales, and loss of sound demos for headphones and speakers. Once I get around to doing them, I actually did restart that. You'll see a couple maybe in December, maybe for the new year. If you want to talk to me directly, ask me questions, a little bit more, put you into the patronage chat where you can talk to me, talk to other people who have, wanted to join a behind the paywall community, which seems to be a really big factor. It's just like, even if it's 50 cents, trolls don't want to pay 50 cents. So putting it behind the paywall here actually helps a great deal. We've only had a handful of trolls over the years, and they've been excommunicated, so to speak. You also get into a lifetime swap meet channel to buy, sell, and trade gear. So if you do want to sell things and then buy one of these, you can do that. I don't think I've ever seen one of these for sale in there, but probably because once you hear one, you just keep using it. Anyway, I'm Zeos Pantera. Let me just whip this around so you get the full view of this. I will see you all in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and don't take audio too fucking seriously. It's just music, bro. Enjoy it. All right, put it back on. God damn it. I didn't even get it to work again. I'm just fucking around. Look at this. I found bass and treble enabler, and then you could change the bass gain and the bass frequency and the bass Q and the treble gain and frequency and Q values for the thing for the line output specifically. Like, anyway, back to continuing the search.